Hey everyone, good morning. It's Adam Hofmann from FBinsure. I'm checking in on our round 2 of COVID-19 and insurance frequently asked questions. But before I dive into the questions, I do want to ask, how are you? How are you feeling? What's going on for you? These are questions that I think are important, right? We're all trying to help each other and navigate through this extremely fluid time. And I think it's important that we continue to reach out. As business leaders, as businesses, as risk advisors, whatever our profession may be, we can talk about these things, but I think it's important that we reach out and connect with each other throughout this. We're week 3 here. I'm still at my home office, missing the connection between clients and prospects and business leaders and coworkers. Thankful that we can do this video, but let's keep checking in on each other, okay? Share any tips and tricks you might have, any challenges that you've faced, any questions that you have, please send them my way. It's going to take a community that's greater than it ever has been before to navigate through this. So I'm here, happy to address any questions, happy to share any tips you have. Now I'm going to dive into the insurance stuff. So let's get right to it. Question 1, what should I do if I think I have a workers' compensation, liability, or property claim? We spent a lot of time dissecting the policies, analyzing the policies, and talking about triggers for coverage, right? And we've done that. You can read those again. I bet you're almost an insurance expert on this by now. With all the gray areas and all the change in what's going to happen here, and it's important to remember that if you think you have a claim, talk to your insurance team, talk to your risk advisor, talk to your insurance agent or broker, your carrier. To preserve your rights under a policy, you need to file a claim timely. So if you think you have a claim, file that claim. Get the claim in there, talk through it with your team, all right? Question number 2, with a large portion of the workforce working remotely, how might this affect an organization's network security? That's a great question. Without a doubt, it's going to affect your network security. There are measures you can take, but we're already seeing an increase in ransomware attacks, phishing attacks, invoice manipulation, social engineering. Social engineering is when someone gets into your system and they can kind of watch how you communicate as an organization. So they're able to engineer an email, say, that comes from the CFO that seems just like the CFO would normally communicate, and asks an employee, for instance, to transfer funds to a different account this week for payroll or this month for this reason. And that employee clicks the link, transfers the money, and now that money's gone. It's not yours anymore and it's off, right? So there are ways and protocol that you can implement. And an out-of-date disaster recovery plan may be part of the problem here, or maybe causing challenges, because in your office, you might have already had this protocol to verify with the CFO. They're right down the hall, or to check in with your manager or supervisor. But now with the remote workforce and spread out, you may not be following that protocol. So I would say antivirus, make sure that's up to date. Firewall protection is up to date. VPNs are important. Multi-factor authentication, make sure you're utilizing that. But also check to make sure you're still following protocol. You're still maintaining that. There's 2 reasons for that. One is it's going to make you safer and a little bit more secure. The other is many cyber insurance policies and network security policies have provisions and conditions. And if those aren't met, coverage will not be afforded. So if there's a condition that you have to get double sign-off on before you transfer funds, and you were always doing that in the workplace, but now that you're spread out, you're trying to streamline and you got rid of that option or that protocol, well, you may be affecting your coverage. You may be excluding that coverage from the policy, and you don't want to do that. We're seeing increases for a reason. Networks are spread out. Employees are everywhere. They're using their home networks. It's giving opportunity to hackers and attackers to keep doing ransomware attacks and social engineering attacks. So pay attention to that. Reach out to your risk advisory team. Read those policies. If you have questions on them, reach out. I'm happy to give you whatever advice I can. So that's that question. Next, we have, with employees working from home, how will my workers' compensation policy respond to injuries to employees while they are home? It's a great question. The remote workplace, it does create added risk, but it doesn't really change the requirements to trigger a workers' compensation claim. So I'm working from home right now, and I'm doing this video. If I'm hurt, am I covered? What if I take a break from doing this video and I decide to go for a walk, get some fresh air? I have some trails behind my house and I want to go for a walk in the woods. I trip out there and I get hurt. Am I covered? Just remember that there is a threshold or one threshold on the workers' compensation policy that you need to meet to be covered is it occurs out of the course of and arising out of employment requirements. So those scenarios I gave, I'm recording this video. This is a requirement. I'm required to communicate with my clients and prospects and business leaders. I'm doing this for work. If I'm hurt doing this, is it covered? Most likely. If I'm out taking a walk, am I covered? Probably not. That's not a requirement of my job. So just keep that in mind, that threshold does have to be met. Next question. Could my business or organization be responsible for a client who claims that my business or my organization exposed them to the virus? This is a great question. And again, remember, if you're hearing this or your client is expressing this, make sure you reach out to your risk management team, advisor team, insurance agent, whoever that may be. Have this conversation. Again, you want to preserve your rights under the policy, but this is going to be the typical insurance answer that no one likes to hear. You're going to have to analyze your policy on this one. You're going to have to lean on your team on this one. If you don't have a team, let me know. But I would think that two areas to be concerned about is first, the expected or intended exclusion in a liability policy. The second is bacteria and pollution. Let's focus on expected or intended. So if I intend to cause you injury, that's not going to be covered under the policy. Most times that's excluded. Now, am I intending to expose you to coronavirus, COVID-19? Probably not. So we can probably throw intention out there. I'm a little concerned about expected. From a liability standpoint, is there an expectation that if a business remains open, they're continually exposing clients and customers to the virus? And can a client make that leap and say that? If it's expected, this exclusionary language may apply and you may be out of coverage there. So really read that. The second is the bacteria and pollution. Pollution has a broader definition than bacteria. It's more narrow in scope for bacteria, but I don't know if coronavirus, COVID-19, if they would fit into that definition. It doesn't seem like it, but it is a gray area. So pay attention to that definition. Again, lean on your risk management team, your advisory team. This is what we're here for. And if you don't have a team like that around you, that's fine. Just let us know if you have any questions, need any help. One other question we got was, what should I do in regards to return to work programs for my employees who are injured now? And now that there are business closures, how will they return to work? That's a very specific and proactive question, so we appreciate that. That's more in the risk management avenue. So I would say continue that process the way you always have. You don't want to hasten the return to work program because there's a threat that the job won't be there. If you do that, you're throwing that practice out and you're putting yourself at risk. I would say this is a good time to lean on your HR team and any resources you have there. Lean on your benefits team, lean on your employment lawyer or employment attorney. Ask these questions. But it's going to be important to maintain that same level of care that you've always practiced in your return to work program. So just keep focused on that, right? That's what we have now. I will say again, we're here. If you have any questions, any concerns, reach out. We're seeing a lot of changes, even as it relates to the questions we had in round one. We're seeing a lot of fluidity in this situation. Insurance carriers, on a positive note, are being really flexible right now. We're having good results with our insurance carrier partners on flexibility with premium basis and flexibility with billing. So please reach out. If you don't know who to reach out to me. Reach out to the team. If you have questions, concerns, anything, let me know, all right? Again, I hope you're healthy. I hope you're happy. I hope you're safe. And let us know if we can help in any way, all right? Take care.